on the left. You can actually on the book you can expose the tip. It's okay because you have this dot. That's why you add a dot to balance it. If you have a heavy start, you may do not need this. So when you have a weak start like this, exposed, you can expose the tip and press and then lift, right? And you can add the dot on the side. But if you have a heavy start, maybe you can do something else, not this. It will be too heavy maybe. So you understand? So this is a good combination. A dot with a kind of sharp pointed start leaf. Now you can try a windy leaf like this. So the first part is like, but if you have missed the sharp, you can you want to do the tail with like too long. We call that rat tail. Just keep it short. But sometimes it become a dull ending, right? Don't worry. You can add it with a break in between, with the absence of a stroke in between. You could also have a press and lift movement. So it's like a little tiny leaf. So this one is like that, and then add a little tip. This is what this curly leaf we call it, in the book. It says curly, curd leaf. We call it you see this in the windy branch later. So let me do it again. It's very important to have like a narrow ending and a narrow start. So this part is like a less pressure, right? The combining the two sides combines with both narrow strokes. If you have, you cannot do this. This is too thick, right? This is good. That's one stroke variation. Some variations.
The second one is shorter.
Yeah. Okay. Now you can do the two leaf combination. When you have two, you do the branch first. Branch comes first. From top down, like that. You can have a joint in between. Okay. Then add, like we did to the first leaf, from the left to the right, flying up, and then straight stroke on the left, shorter. Let me do it again. Adjust the brush so not too wet. I got some smear also. If the brush is too wet, you have to do it very fast. Just use the tip, you hold the brush straight. I just do without hesitation, just, and then one long, one short. Let me do it one more time. I missed it. If you just got it a little, that's fine. Don't repeat. This one can go. You can add a little. So this is a weak start, and then this is a strong start for short hand. Depends on the need in your composition. It might have the large one on the left, so let's just do this one on the small one on top, like that. You don't have to start from the same point. You can, well, twigs first, and the large one on the bottom. This is a little tricky. Try to repeat. You use twist movement to adjust the brush. If the brush bends, twist the brush, change side between strokes. So after the first one, the brush bend, right? Then I twist, I rotate the brush.
Okay.
Yeah, then adjust it without going back to the palette. I can adjust it between strokes. So the stick is from top down. The leaf is from bottom up. I rotate the side. So my brush is always adjusted flat. Let me add some more ink. It takes a lot of ink to practice. How you're doing if you can show me your work.
Okay, one sec.
You don't have to resemble the leaf. Yeah, they're very good. Very good. Okay. Yeah, I think generally speaking, this lower part, the beginning part, is thicker than the top. The top part. Okay, so press in the early stage is a good idea. Not to press near the end. Just lift the brush, so you can get that shape. And actually, in the book, you can see the variation of the thickness is not as strong as we might think. It's basically even, so, just swept at the end. Yeah, just not too much press and lift. It's okay. In the actual painting, you can only a few strokes very close to realistic bamboo. The other is very suggestive. Could be very calligraphic. Okay, now we're going to do more combinations of two-stroke. In real bamboo, you see the leaves are paired, but one large, one small. This is the basic. See, you can do one large, one small towards the center, and then lean to the left, one small, one large, and this one is lean to the right. Actually, you can do the large one first, and then the small one. You can blot it if you think the ink is too much. You can use tissue. I use my paper towel doesn't come with the pattern, so I can use this blotting paper as well. So you can use tissue to blot it before it gets smeared. This is very, very good. But make sure the paper is clean, otherwise you may get a stain. And then this one is the opposite of this. The shot is on the left side, and the flying gesture, upward, one short, one long, and one short on the bottom and one long, like flying also.
I like that one.
Yeah.
See that.
Yeah, this is the short and long combination. Okay, it says 2 down strokes, down leaves, 1 small, 1 large, and you can make a crossing also. One maybe 1 narrow, 1 thick. Don't make an even stroke crossing would be bad, like a X. But this is okay.
When you're designing your painting, can I put them randomly? Is there a number of strokes that you have to have, or can I be creative with that?
Okay, that's a good question. The answer is that you have to add the leaves in groups of 3 or 2. This is we start from 1. Actually, the 1 leaf is very rare in composition. So this page, the next page is the basic unit. Number 2, 1 large, 1 small may be useful, but less common than the 3. So you have to create your leaves by grouping of leaves, by basic groups of 3. You can overlap them. You can add 5 leaves in 2 groups, combine. I'll talk about that later, but the basic is 3. So you can do a whole painting with only 3 stroke groups. But if you elaborate a little bit, you become very. It's like a mass. You can add any number from 3 and the 2s. 2 plus 2 plus 3 or 2, that kind of thing. So yeah, let's do that. So 1. Now you see the Chinese numbers. This is 1, and the 2. This is sequential number, and you can add a 3rd stroke in the middle. That's a minimum 3 stroke. That could be on the top of the branch or this whole plant. 1, 2, and 3. And notice the difference in weight, thickness, length. So 1, 2, and 3. And you can make it lean to the left or to the right. To the right. 1, 2, 3. This is supposed to be more centered. Centered, left, right. And then we'll do There's different names. Okay, let's see. You can have the middle one short. That's less common. So the middle one small. Depends on the perspective, I guess. And you can have this two small on the left, and then one long side view stroke, as we learned earlier. That's actually four, become four strokes, but the main stroke is still three, right? Then you can add adjustment. You can add a little stroke on the top that doesn't count. So you always start with three, then you can add more minor strokes, thinner strokes. In the dance part, you want to create density by crossing, overlapping. This is how we do it. You can see the numbers in the book that shows you which comes first. We do 1, 2, and this could cross both of them. 3. See, before it gets smeared, you can blot it. I have people complain about the rice paper. They don't get used to it. You don't blot on the watercolor paper on arches, right? Because it will take the whole paint off. But you do have the option to blot it instead of ironing or use a hair dryer. You just blot it. It will stop the. But don't overuse it. Blotting could have a different effect sometimes. If it's going to smear, you think before it does, you can blot it so you can see the extra moisture is taken off. Yeah. Okay. And I think you. Okay, let me do this one. See if it makes sense. This one doesn't give me an older number. Let me just do 1, 2, I think, and then the third stroke, like scissors. This should be a little bit different. This should be the main stroke up. I don't know what's the name of it. It's unnamed. And then you can have, this is a dance group, right? You make a cross, but you can also paint 3 leaves without touching each other. That's a sparse group, just like one, very loose. It could be, but still you have that structure in mind. They belong to the same group, so you can add leaves one by one, but still, you keep this sense of a group. They're pointing to the same stem, maybe. So if you just add the leaf without this group, it would the whole picture will get too loose, too busy, maybe.
Right.
Okay, this is busy, but you can adjust with a loose group. You can overlap another 3. Just so this is dense and sparse. Okay, we'll talk about this dense and sparse grouping later. Okay, and
Great.
so let's see. This is double-sided. Oh, we did that one. Okay, here we have the 4 group of 4 leaves. Is like a combination of 2 tools. Understand? We learned earlier there one short, one long. So that's the basic. You can have 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? and it also gives you a suggestion of direction. So the first stroke could be more horizontal. The second one is down. Third stroke is slant, and then the fourth stroke is flying up. All right, and you can also since I did this one more like a slant, so I do this one, next one more flat to begin with. It's flat, down, leaned to the right, and then up, right. So that's the idea. Actually, this middle two, the two group could cross. So make a cross. 1, 2, so 3 crossing, and then 4. That's also 4-stroke group. You can have the leaves leaned to the left. 1, okay, 1, 2 to the left also, and start to turn to the right a little bit, and then long stroke to balance it. The nice weight shift, and then you can see the dense and sparse. We call this dense and open, right? So the dense part is more shorter, balanced by an open stroke on the right with long. In each group, there might be a dominant stroke, which indicates the weight. So this one is weighted to the right, right? So this second stroke is the main stroke. That's like that, and then you just balance this, adding to supporting leaves, like a side view. You might, in the Western terminology, you might call this a side view. This is a full view. That's all okay. No matter what you but we got this idea from the shadow, cast shadow on the window. So we don't if I have a new real bamboo here, you will see the shadow like this. So this is the idea. Okay. So you can combine two groups of, one large, one small, side by side, or by make a cross overlapping, like that, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, and you can make a 3 and plus 1, so it's also 4 equals to 4. 2 plus 2, or 3 plus 1. This one is 4-stroke, but each one has each stroke has a different weight, like I just mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, let me show you okay, maybe we don't need to actually do it. Let me just translate this. You can see it. Whoops. I started, but I didn't see it. Okay. This is the main leaf on the left, main leaf in the second stroke, or the third stroke.
Third stroke.
Yeah. This one is more even, like a character, Chinese character, penny. If you read Chinese, this looks like a Chinese character, right? Because it's more even. this is more painterly with more variations of thickness. So when you write a character, you write like this, more evenly. So this is and 5 strokes. 5 strokes is like 2 plus 3, or 3 plus 2. So you do the first 3, then stack 2s on top. Let's do that together. So 3 on the bottom, 1, 2, 3, right? And then you just make it larger. In a real painting, you imagine the area, the block shape first. It's like a upside down triangle. You know, you just let me just combine these 2 groups from the book. So and then you add, if I need to develop on this side. This I just do 1. Actually, you can make a crossing like that. Just they can touch, and then you can just add 2, and you can add another 3. So I always add 3. 1, 2, and 3. Right. So that it looks complicated, but if you you treat this, you use this concept of a fractal pattern, it make it easy. This is how they use in the computer graphic. They record a tree with a fractal pattern. They don't bitmap record each point. They just use a little basic unit to grow it. Yeah. That's the Chinese painting concept in the, just like the same we use on the computer. So this one, 5, group of 5. It says the first stroke is just set the root or the starting point. It's just like opening statement. It's a little introduction. We call it introduction, and then do 2, and then 2. That's 5. Right.
Which was the third one?
This one. Actually, yeah. So if you count, this is the second. It's a 1 plus 2 plus 2. So you always do the third one should close to the second one, to cross with group with the second one, and the third one make a cross. So let me do it again. If you can if you want to watch again, this is the order. 1, right, and then 2. You can count this as a group, but actually the group starts from here. So 2, and then 3, and then 4. Okay. So 4 plus 1. This one it doesn't count as a group. So because you can also count like 3 plus 2. So it's a different interpretation maybe. On this one, 5 strokes, but the last stroke is a direction change. So short, medium, long, narrow, long, and then this one flying up. That's the idea. You see in the book, printed book, with this little, we call it open space and painted in between bristles. This is what we call the flying white. You don't have to copy this. You cannot get it actually. If you use a dryer brush and paint faster, you get it naturally. Excuse me. Okay. The last 2 groups before we end. We've got 1 minute. To close the top like a crown, you do this 1, 2, 3, 4, and then have the flying stroke. Flying stroke, right? That's indicating of the crown. No more stacking groove on top of that. But if you develop if you want more leaves under it, keep all the leaves down. This is you can use this group for further, down. Okay, let me do this. Let's just say down from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So most leaves. I still have a little bit up just to follow that trend. So basically.
Picture of that, because that's very helpful.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Got it?
great.
Okay.
Yeah. Whew.
Yeah. So let me see what next page we can add anything. Oh, this is finished. Yeah. The next time we will start from the 6th and then 7.
Yes.
Yeah. So we did the 1 through 5. Actually, the other, 6, 5, you can apply the same principle. It will be 6 equals to what? 3 plus 3, or 4 plus 2. That kind of, yeah. 7 will be
I see.
4 plus 3. So that's, yeah. You can try to read not to read the words, but the illustration yourself and practice.
Right.
Yeah. So that's a good point to end. So keep that in mind. The whole block is like a triangle in your composition. So there's open space that you should keep also, and little space between the strokes are also called negative space. You will start to see them if they look nice, the dense and sparse, that kind of balance. Yeah, that's very important in learning bamboo. So later when you do any other leaves, it's just a snack, very easy. To apply the same idea, just broaden the shape. You would know how to group. So if you do peony, you just 3, 3, 3 also. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Okay.
So I am going to definitely practice. I'm just looking at the calendar. So next